A 24-year-old kid, in just his third season, dragged his team out of a 2-game hole and straight into the history books, averaging nearly 35 points per game, outscoring the entire Mavericks team in free throws, and putting the Heat on his back in one of the most legendary comebacks the finals has ever seen. It was relentless, it was dominating, and it was the kind of performance you usually only see in movies or highlight reels narrated by Morgan Freeman. And for some reason, most people don't talk about it. While names like Jordan, Kobe, and LeBron echo through finals history, Dwayne Wade's 2006 masterpiece is often left in the shadows and forgotten by fans who either weren't watching or just didn't realize what they were witnessing. So how did he do it? How did a skinny shooting guard with no hype machine, no MVP trophies, and no blueprint go on to pull off one of the most mind-blowing finals performances in modern basketball history? Well, to understand that, we need to rewind the clock back to 2003, more precisely June 26, 2003, aka the day of the NBA draft. LeBron goes first, Carmelo, Bosh, all off the board, and then, with the 5th overall pick, the Miami Heat take a quiet, humble guard out of Marquette. No fanfare, no spotlight, just a kid from the south suburbs of Chicago with fire in his eyes. Dwayne Wade. Miami was in no position to make noise. A 25-win team the year before, a new coach, an aging roster, and no real identity since Alonzo Mourning's departure. South Beach might have had sunshine, but on the court, it was cloudy at best. But from the moment Wade touched the court, things started to shift. He didn't ease in. He attacked. Smooth drives, fearless finishes, a confidence that didn't wait for permission. The Heat started the year 0-7, but Wade kept pushing, and slowly, the team followed. They finished 17-4 down the stretch, scraped into the playoffs at 42-40, and suddenly, Miami had a pulse. Wade ended the year with 16.2 points per game, shooting 47%, and made the all-rookie first team. But more than the numbers, it was how he played. You could feel it. The way he moved. The way he took over games like he'd done it 100 times. Even against the veteran Pacers in the playoffs, he wasn't rattled. He stepped into the fire and held his ground. They lost the series, sure, but something was happening. You could feel it. The kid wasn't just good. He was next. Year 2 was the true emergence of Wade as an NBA star. The franchise made a blockbuster trade, acquiring 3-time NBA champion Shaquille O'Neal from the Los Angeles Lakers. It was a bold move, signaling that Miami wasn't just rebuilding anymore. They were trying to win now. In just his second year, Wade took full control of the moment. His game matured overnight. He jumped from 16 points per game to 24.1, shot nearly 48%, and added 6.8 assists per night. The numbers were impressive, but it was the way he played, under control, under pressure, that stood out. He was named an all-star starter, becoming the face of a team that was suddenly a real threat. With Wade and Shaq leading the way, the Heat stormed through the season with a 59-23 record. Best in the East, best in franchise history. Miami wasn't just winning games. They were dominating. In the playoffs, they were nearly unstoppable. A 4-0 sweep of the Nets. Another 4-0 sweep against the Wizards. Wade was sensational, averaging over 30 points, taking over late in games, making it clear that this wasn't just Shaq's team anymore. It was both of theirs. But the real test came in the Eastern Conference Finals against the defending champion Detroit Pistons. Grit, defense, experience. And yet, Wade matched them punch for punch. 40 points in Game 2, 36 in Game 3. The Heat were up 2-1, and for a moment, it felt like the finals were within reach. Then came the rib injury. Just like that, Wade was limited. The Pistons pounced. The series shifted. Miami fought but couldn't close. Game 7 slipped through their fingers. The season ended in heartbreak. But Dwayne Wade didn't walk away empty-handed. He walked away sharper, stronger, fully aware of who he was and how close he'd come. and with one thought on his mind: next year will be different. By the time the 2005-06 season started, Dwayne Wade had transformed into a franchise cornerstone. Off-season moves, including trading for sharpshooter Jason Williams and signing role players, gave the Heat a complete roster. Even more importantly, the belief in Wade was sky high. Early struggles, including an 11-10 start, led to the resignation of coach Stan Van Gundy in December, with team president Pat Riley taking over. Under Riley's leadership and Wade's growing dominance, Miami locked in. They finished 52-30, second in the East, and Wade earned another All-Star nod, averaging 27.2 points on 50% shooting. He was efficient, confident, and leading a team that had finally found its identity. They called themselves 15 strong, but everyone knew who the heart was. In the playoffs, Wade delivered. He lit up Chicago in the first round and closed out New Jersey with a 36-point performance in Game 6. Then came the rematch with Detroit. This time, there was no heartbreak. Wade opened the series with back-to-back wins, including 36 points in Game 2. Detroit clawed back, but in Game 5, Wade took over, owning the fourth quarter and dragging the Heat to an 88-76 win. The Pistons fought to force a Game 6, but Miami closed them out in Game 7. Wade dropped 29, and the Heat punched their ticket to the NBA Finals. And from that moment on, it was his stage. Game 1 was next. Wade and the Heat were underdogs, but no one was ready for what was about to happen. The 2006 NBA Finals. Heat versus Mavericks. For Miami, it was uncharted territory. It was their first trip to the finals in franchise history. For Dwayne Wade, it was the biggest stage of his life. He was only 24 years old, in just his third year in the league, and though he'd been playing like a superstar for months, now he had to prove it when it mattered most. Jason Terry exploded for 32 points. Wade battled back with 30 and 7 assists, but it wasn't enough. Dallas took the win, 90-80. Game 2, more of the same. Dirk dropped 30. Wade put up 21 and 8 boards, but Miami looked out of sync, down 0-2. History wasn't on their side. And then, Game 3 happened. Midway through the fourth, Miami was down 13. The series was slipping, but Wade flipped the switch. He finished with 42 points, 13 rebounds and 5 assists, an all-time finals performance. Miami clawed back, and Wade iced the game at the line in overtime. The Heat won 98-96. Everything changed. Game 4 was domination. Dallas collapsed, scoring just 7 in the fourth, still a finals record. Wade dropped 36. The series was tied, but Game 5 is where things got really heated. Wade finished with 43 points and 13 rebounds, but it wasn't just the stat line that made Game 5 legendary. It was the way he attacked, relentlessly, fearlessly, drawing contact on nearly every drive. Wade went to the free throw line 25 times, knocking down 21 of them, setting a new NBA Finals record. Dallas simply had no answer. Every time they tried to contain him, he slipped through their fingers like water. Then, with just under 2 seconds left in overtime, Wade stepped to the line once more. The Heat were up by 1. The arena was silent. He sank both, ice cold. The Mavericks had one last chance, but their shot missed the mark. Final score, 101-100. And just like that, Miami had taken control of the series. From the edge of collapse, they were now one win away from the championship. There was chaos after the game. Mark Cuban was irate, Avery Johnson was furious, and the Mavericks looked more rattled than ever. But for everyone else watching, one thing was clear. Wade wasn't just rising to the moment, he was defining it. Back in Dallas, the Mavericks came out like a team on the edge. They knew what was at stake. They built a double-digit lead early. For most of the first half, it looked like they might force a Game 7, but the second half belonged to Wade again. He dropped 36 points, pulled down 10 rebounds, and handed out 5 assists. He controlled the pace, attacked the paint, and made key plays on both ends of the court. The Mavericks kept it close right up until the final seconds. Jason Terry launched a last-ditch 3 that could have tied it, and he missed. Final score, Miami 95, Dallas 92. Series over. Heat win 4-2. By the time the confetti fell, Wade's final stat line was astonishing. He averaged 34.7 points per game, shooting 47% from the field, grabbed 7.8 rebounds and 3.8 assists per game, and was unanimously voted Finals MVP. Every single game, he had given maximum effort, jumping higher, pushing harder, leading fervently. In only his third season, Dwayne Wade had delivered a legendary finals performance worthy of Hall of Fame comparison. If the world remembers one stat, let it be that Wade's 43-point Game 5 and his series-long heroics were as dominant as any final stretch by Michael Jordan or Magic Johnson. Jordan famously averaged 41 points per game in the 1993 finals, but Wade's 34.7 in 2006, under entirely different circumstances, ranks right up there in finals lore. Yet Wade never claimed to be the next Jordan. As he said in 2006, "There will never be another Jordan. The only thing I can try to do is play the game the way I play it." And play it his way he did. Looking back, Wade's 2006 NBA Finals run was underrated and monumental. Arguably, one of the best finals performances in history. He was the first player drafted in 2003 to reach the finals, and he did it by dominating every aspect of the game. In just 6 finals games, he scored 208 total points, an unheard of total at the time. He did it all on the biggest stage.